Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at an HGUC kit here, the Zaku Mariner. This one was released, oh, that's upside down, isn't it? Back in 2012, actually, and so it's been out for a little while and may not be new to a lot of you guys, but I've never built it before, and I've always thought it was a pretty interesting design, an interesting version of the Zaku here from Gundam Double Zeta, as you can see on the box. So we're going to check it out here for today's video, and I'll let you know my thoughts. Let's go ahead and get into the unboxing portion of the video. Let's go. So first of all, here on the box art, really cool artwork of the Zaku Mariner, and a couple of things to point out, very interesting here in the background. You can see that track on the top of the head, that black bar is actually part of the track for the mono eye, so that when it's swimming like straight on, the mono eye can rotate up there to the top, so that's pretty cool. You have these missiles on the shoulders and the backpack there as well. You can also see the Double Zeta version of the Kapul swimming along there in the background, which we still don't have a proper HGUC of. We know that Bandai's got at least some of the parts for that already made because of the release of the Momo Kapul many years back now. So we're still waiting on that HGUC Kapul, Bandai, please, sometime soon. But really cool artwork here on the front. You can see like all the little bubbles coming out of the Zaku and everything, so pretty awesome. And a pretty thin box here too. There's not going to be a whole lot in there. This is 143 in the HGUC lineup. And you can see here on the bottom, the kit front and back, we're going to have this version of the machine gun, or I think it is. I'm not exactly sure what type of weapon that is. We'll check that out here in just a second. Sort of like a underwater missile launcher or something. Anyway, but there's another kind of cool CG render there with a couple of kits and some information. Everything's going to be in Japanese with this one, just due to it being an older release. And over here you can see we've got some marking seals that are going to be included here for this, and then a little bit about some of the details and articulation here. It looks like that all looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and pop it open. And yeah, with there not being a whole lot in here, I'm guessing we're just going to have a couple of runners, looks like, and our instruction manual. And in typical HGUC fashion here, we just have a nice big painted sample build there on the front, and then over here some stats where we can see it looks like for the armaments there is the sub-rock launcher and the 4-tube spray missile gun, which I'm guessing is what that one is there. Let's go ahead and check the back. Or maybe that's all one thing and not two different things, because over here it says that that's the sub-rock gun. But anyway, it looks like this is also acting as our decal marking guide right here in this sample image. Another nice sample image there of the back side of the mobile suit. Some more details over here about some of the articulation, which all looks pretty comparable to like some of like the later HGUC Zaku 2 kits, and like the Origin kits are all going to be sort of similar, it looks like, in terms of the articulation, everything of this. Looks like you do also have that cool wire weapon in there as well. So anyway, opening this up to the center pages, we've got a bunch more information here about that in particular there. I guess it's not a weapon, but more of just a magnet wire to be able to like tow along behind other different mobile suits and stuff underwater. That's pretty cool. All right, and then you can see some more about that. It looks like the missiles do actually come out, or we have like missile parts to show them like coming out of the shoulders too, which is awesome. So all right, more information over here on this page about the Zaku Mariner and like the lineup of other different Zaku variants available in the HGUC line, and other mobile suits from Double Zeta. They're available in HGUC. And our instructions are going to be pretty short here. It looks like we've got basically 3 full runners, another smaller runner, and polycaps for our parts list there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 pages of instructions that will continue on. Will it? No, it's done, right? Yeah, that's it. It finishes there on the 3rd page of instructions, so definitely a short construction process. And so for the stickers, we've got this sheet of marking sticker decals here, which you can use. It looks like there's a bunch of numbers and then a bunch of different markings here available in mostly white and yellow. We got a few red ones in there as well. And we do have a fairly sizable foil sticker sheet here also, unfortunately. It looks like probably for like a lot of the missiles on the shoulders and the backpack. These parts for inside the backpack, this part for like around the collar. So a little bit more than just the mono eye there, unfortunately. And then we've got this black wire there for that. This is going to be quite long, at about 29 centimeters in length. I don't really think it needs to be quite that long, but you got plenty of wire to work with, and probably a little extra if you want to cut that down. And then for runners, we've got polycaps PC001 there in gray. And the A runner also going to be in gray here for all of the joints and weapon parts there, it looks like. And yeah, just looking at some of these joints, you can see it does look very similar to the Zaku kits in the HD, the Origin line. We're going to be here in this really nice blue-green kind of color there, very suited for a aquatic mobile suit there for sure. We're going to see in this blue color, which is a little bit closer to like the Camphor's blue. It's not quite as blue as the Camphor has, still like a little bit of greenish tone to this, but that's for the rest of our armor pieces there. And then lastly here, runner D is going to be our piping parts for around the body and on the legs there in this dark gray, and this is in a little bit more flexible material there for those. And that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. Okay guys, and here is the kit all built up. Obviously it was a pretty quick build for this one. Doesn't have a ton of accessories or anything like that too, so pretty simple, straightforward build. If you're looking for a really quick kit to build, this is a great opportunity for you. So this one also is really cool just because it's really unique, just being like such a specialized version of a Zaku. I think is quite unique, something that we don't really have too much of. We have all sorts of different versions of the Zaku, like the high mobility type, and different versions like the F2, the FZ, Char's Zaku, Johnny Ridden versions, you know, Black TriStar versions. There's a lot of different versions out there, but this one, with the design being so different and specialized for like aquatic use, is really quite interesting, quite unique. I like that a lot. Well, you can definitely see the lineage in just like the general construction of this kit, with this being sort of a precursor to a lot of the fantastic technology that we have built into the later HG Zaku releases that would come in the years after this kit. You can tell that this one's not quite as nice as some of the ones that we would get in later years, but let's go ahead and check out the accessories here to get us started. And longtime viewers of the channel may recognize something a little bit different. Typically, to start the review, I usually don't have the kits or the mobile suits or whatever holding on to any weaponry. The reason that this one is because this trigger finger hand holding on to our weapon in this case is the only option that we have for the right hand. So that is a little bit disappointing that we don't have any other option for this hand. That said, I mean, there's not really anything else that you're gonna hold. There is no other handheld weapon option. So I mean, I guess it's either this or nothing. Or I mean, I guess if you wanted to switch out this weapon for like a Zaku machine gun from a different kit or something like that, I guess maybe you could. And just to take a closer look at this here for a second, a really cool design. Kind of a shame that for this end piece it's not in red as it's kind of supposed to be. So it's a shame that we didn't get just a single red part on like the first runner just to make that part in red. But definitely would recommend painting that if you want it to be more accurate. We do have a seam line on here, of course, but it is a cool design, quite unique for sure. I do really like the look of this. As far as our hand options go, for the right side, that trigger finger hand with that kind of back slightly bent wrist is the only option that we have. That said, for the left side, we have this really nice closed fist, which is great to have that included. And then you have this just regular holding hand right here. And what that's going to be used for is for holding on to the secondary handle on the Subrock launcher here. And this keeps popping out of the wrist. So it's one of the things where I said that you can tell that there's a lot of really nice technology with this kit, but it's not quite as nice as some of the kits that we got later on. This is one of those points, is that this wrist joint is just kind of a bit weak and the hand keeps popping out of there. But anyway, yeah, this secondary handle over here on the side is actually not movable, which is kind of interesting too. It's kind of, don't really know why. I guess it's maybe just like a feature of that. But anyway, that holding hand that we have for the left side can be used to hold on to that secondary handle. And then for the magnet hook here in the arm, that's just actually, this hand keeps wanting to pop out as well. It's actually a little gray piece that we're going to cover up with a red sticker, but that you can attempt to pop out of there. It's kind of a little bit tricky. It's just this little tiny piece, but you can pop that out in order to use this piece here, which again is a gray piece that we're going to stick a red sticker onto the end of that, and then the wire will go into the arm here in order to use the magnet hook. Now again, the wire that we get included is ridiculously longer than what you would need, but it's nice to have that long, because I mean, I don't know, maybe if you wanted it for a particular diorama or scene or something, you wanted it for a pose with like a really, really long wire, you've got it. Otherwise, I would probably recommend just cutting that down to a shorter size. And then we've got a few option parts, like here for the chest. If you didn't want this version, if you just wanted kind of like more of a standard looking Zaku 2 chest plate here, you can use that if you want. And then for the antenna on the head, instead of this like very antenna looking one, you have a more kind of, again, a little bit more typical Zaku 2 kind of looking antenna here like this, which is a very interesting shape and nice detail on that one. So it's not a bad option if you wanted to opt for that. And then down here on the front of the leg, if you wanted to use this part, which again is just kind of more standard looking Zaku 2 front armor piece for the front of the leg, instead of this kind of aquatic thruster equipment right here, then you could use those instead too. So you got some nice option pieces included. And then for the for the left side only, actually 2 of these missiles are removable, sort of, and how this is going to work, and this is probably again going to damage the stickers, because these are just stickers here on the top of there to try to make this work. You kind of need to take this part off first because 2 of these missile caps here, these 2, are actually removable as just little cap pieces like this. And maybe you could get these off without taking this armor piece off. But this one is just molded in, and on this side, all 3 are molded in. But these 2 in particular are made as like separate pieces that you can remove and pop out of there, so that this will just look like that. And we don't have any wires or anything for this, but I guess what you could do is use wires for these as well, because what you can do with those cap pieces that we popped off there is attach them onto these parts here, which we have 2 of for these, which I guess are actually the Sub-Rock launchers, and this is the Sub-Rock gun. So Sub-Rock launcher, Sub-Rock gun. I think I maybe said something wrong earlier. The 4-tube spray missile launcher is what that one is. Anyway, these look like these would also fit onto the wire. So I think maybe if you cut the wire down shorter, if you cut the wire down shorter, you could also use the wire for like displaying the missiles actually launching out of there too. So you could definitely use it for that. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that anywhere in the manual to do so, but you can kind of pretty easily tell that the size of the hole in both ends of this is the same size as what you can use with the wire there. So that's kind of interesting. And now anyway, just to talk a little bit more about the kit, just kind of generally here, the articulation is pretty nice. You do have just a single joint in the elbow, and the hands keep popping off on me, so I'm just going to leave them off for the time being. The knee joint in particular, you might recognize is very similar to the knee joint that we would get in the later HG Revive kits and the HG Origins kits. That's going to work pretty well, except it's just going to be limited in terms of the articulation just because of this equipment here on the back of the leg there. The shoulder joint's also going to be very familiar, as those are just the type that will swing out to the front there like that. So it's got some very familiar elements in terms of the articulation to what we would get with different later versions. Also, like the power cables here, for example, and then on the torso are very similar to what we get with like the Origins kits too. You don't really have much of an ab crunch. And then for the head too, you can turn it, but as you can see, the mono eye is just a sticker on there, and you can choose wherever you want to place the mono eye. So it's not a molded detail, which you can kind of take it or leave it. I actually prefer when it's a molded detail or a separate part even, so that way it's easier to paint. When it's just a flat surface that you stick a sticker onto, it's not as nice like for painting the kit, but you can choose to stick that mono eye sticker onto like the top part or wherever you want on here. And so obviously, because it has the track on the top of the head there as well, there's no gimmick in this one like with the the Origin kits to be able to turn the mono eye side to side at all. So it's just a fixed piece in there. There's no gimmick with that, unfortunately. And just on the note of the stickers, we talked about these white stickers up here at the top. Obviously, we've got stickers on the back here, all those, the pink one in the center, these orange stickers on the inside of here. It's made up of 2 stickers, one and then a second one that kind of wraps around the inside of there. It ends up looking nice once you got it on there. And then obviously this yellow sticker for that part there at the collar, that's just a blue piece. So some color correcting stickers, nothing really too bad. You are going to have plenty of seam lines here on the kit too. So on the forearms, you'll have seam lines that'll be on the front and the back all the way on both sides. The arms are asymmetrical, but they both have seam lines down the front and back of those. Down here on the legs though, you have seam lines kind of sort of on like the sides of the thighs, but that's kind of pretty typical for Zaku kits. You don't have anything on the front. You will have a seam line going all the way down the back though. And the unfortunate thing about this one is that it actually goes through that vent detail at the top and the bottom there as well. So that's usually a little bit trickier to get rid of, especially seam lines going through vents like that. But up underneath the feet, some really nice detail there. With it being an aquatic type suit, you want it to have this nice kind of turbine looking thruster there in the foot, which looks nice. And as we can wrap up now by taking a look at the kit and a couple of different poses, you'll just notice that with this kit, there's a lot of pros and cons. It's a really, really simple kit, really quick build, like I said, and a quite cheap kit too. So if you wanted just like a fun, simple, cheap Zaku kit to build up and a quite unique variant, then this definitely fits that, and that's why I like it. But that said, it's definitely not as nice of a kit as some of the later Origins kits or the HG Revive Zaku 2 kits that we've gotten out in the years since this release. So it's not the best HG Zaku kit out there. It's a little bit more seamline heavy, and the parts, in particular the wrist joints and like the hands, pop out pretty easily, a little bit too easily for my taste. So there's like a couple of points that can be improved upon. And I mean, like like the hands falling out easily is a super easy fix. All you just do is put a little glue or a little tape or something on the hand, on like the ball joint, just to tighten up that joint a little. It's a very easy fix, so it's definitely not something that I would say don't buy this kit because the wrists are loose. So definitely not saying that. Just giving you guys a heads up. These are some things that you can expect with this kit. I think it's really nice for what it is, and if this is the kind of thing you're looking for, definitely pick it up, definitely check it out. That said, if you're just generally looking for an HG Zaku kit to build, maybe it wouldn't be the one that I would recommend to you. There's a lot better options out there. And I should also say, just because this came out before some of the better Zaku 2 HG kits that I've been talking about, there is another older HG Zaku 2 kit that still holds up really, very incredibly well, and that's the Zaku 2 F2 that I will always recommend for you guys to check out. There's two different versions of that, so if you guys have not built an HG Zaku 2 F2, definitely do that. But yeah, this one's fun, it's unique, I like it. The color scheme is like definitely right for an aquatic suit. That said, I'm not really super a fan of the colors, so I think I might try to eventually, when I get the chance, when I have the opportunity to repaint this kit, I might try repainting it in a different color scheme that I think would be a bit more to my taste. But what do you guys think about the color scheme of this? That's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't build this kit for a long time, was that I just didn't really like the colors of it. But I mean, it kind of makes sense that a marine type Zaku would be in like different shades of blue. I don't know, it just didn't really do it for me. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the kits down in the comment section below. Is this one that you guys have had and you've enjoyed or not? What have been your thoughts on this kit? And of course, if you want to check out this kit for yourself or other HG kits or anything else, Gunpla, anything else from Bandai, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of great stuff there on the site, so check that out. And as always, thanks so much for all your support, leaving a like and making sure that you're subscribed. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope y'all are having a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.